As we meet together this evening, we thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon the school district in the past year. Realizing that we just have a few short weeks for the school year to come to an end, we ask for special guidance as we prepare training programs for teachers and enrichment program for students that will take place during the summer months. Give us the guidance and wisdom to truly meet their needs so that our school district can continue its focus on teaching and learning. These things we ask in your name.
Amen. Amen.
Mr. Warren, would you read the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Foche, would you roll call, please?
Mrs. Acevedo?
Here.
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Dr. Kraft is not with us. Mr. Egan?
Here.
Mr. Gaines?
Here.
Mr. England?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart?
Here.
Mrs. Lemoyne?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Smith? And Mr. Wood.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Foche. Go on, item number 4, community concerns. Ms. Banaszak, has anybody signed up, please?
I believe we have some.
Okay. We have a former board member that wants to get up. Mr. Raleigh, welcome to the meeting, please.
Good afternoon.
Right.
How everybody's doing? I have the distinct pleasure to wear dual roles. Being a former board member, I've sat where you are, many of you I served with, and many of you who know me that I'm all about the students and the employees. With that being said, and also I am the vice president of the union now. I came to talk to you about, I believe on 2 weeks ago, Mr. Bradley placed in each board member's mailbox a spreadsheet about the ITEP, Industrial Tax Exempt Program. And that's what I come to approach the board about tonight. Because as a school district, we are losing out on significant funds for our school system as long as this is going on. A brief synopsis and history of the ITEP program: it was created in 1936. Robert W. Leahy was the governor at that time, and the credit was more or less designed for industrial, for farmland. But Louisiana being who it is, they found another way to use the exemption for big businesses. And based on just on 2017, our school district lost $3.7 million in taxes from the exempt program. And what I came to address the board about, to have you to abolish the tax exemption. Don't extend anymore, because in 2016, Governor John Bel Edwards signed a House bill giving the local municipalities the right to accept or decline the tax exemptions. The program was basically for startup businesses, give them 5 years exemption on tax startup, additional 2 years, 10 years they have to reapply. And what's been happening is year after year they were reapplying and just rubber stamping it, and they was getting the exemptions. Based on just on some short numbers, our parish alone, out of 64 parishes, we ranked 15 as far as money being lost to this program. We lost $12.8 million as a whole, as a parish, not just with the school system, due to this program. And we know that with the recent budget cuts to education in Baton Rouge, that's money that can be used by our school system. Not just to say that employees, administration, bus, transportation can use a pay raise also. Computers, laptops in the school. As I know right now, we only have one A school, and that's Shelman High. Wouldn't it be lovely that every school be an A school? You know, I know that's the board goal. I know that's Ms. Vaucher's goal, to have the elite school system in the state and in the country. But that's money that we're leaving on the table, that we can have to put toward our system. I know at the beginning of the year, Ms. Vaucher announced that we are debt-free as a school system. That's a great thing. But more money coming into the system can help us also. So my my employment to you and to ask you is that this board does not approve any more tax exemption for industrial. That we accept our taxes and it goes into our system. That's that.
Mr. Riley, thank you for bringing that up to us. Mr. Warner brought that up a few months ago, a concern about this tax exemption. Everybody has, because we lost almost $4 million, like you said.
Right.
Now, well, my understanding is that they have to come to us, and request if they're doing any type of improvements at these locations. So then we have to give that approval before they get that exemption. Okay?
Right, but go ahead.
But, so then it'll be in our court, in the parish's court, whether we get granted or not, okay? As me personally, I can't speak for the rest of the board members, I will not grant it, okay? I will not give them the exemption. We need this funds, just like you're saying, sir. I agree with you 100%. Yes.
It's a question of, all this other stuff has been grandfathered in, we can't, we're gonna continue losing money because it was approved in the past, or is there,
Okay.
we have a future.
Right. Ms. Foche,
Okay. Prior to Governor Edwards' executive order, these local public governmental agencies had absolutely no input into the granting of industrial tax exemptions. It was done at the state level by the Tax Commission. Now, so those lost revenues over the years, this board had no decision to make on them whatsoever, no say-so in the matter. Subsequent to his executive order, with a few exceptions, because there are some renewals on those that will be automatic, but any of the brand new ones coming in are supposed to then be put before local governing bodies for their approval to say, yes, go ahead and exempt, or no, do not exempt. We have not had any applications come before this board since that order was done. So this board has never had to take a vote on that to this extent. In the future, obviously, when they come before us, it will be a consideration, and we're going to have to look at each one independently to see what the will is of the board. Those things were granted initially because they were supposed to be economic engines for communities and creating jobs and put money back into the community. In many, many cases, that didn't happen. Some of those were automatic. They didn't really create sustainable jobs. So there was a lot of, lost revenue, as Mr. Riley has indicated. So it will be very interesting as these things come up in the future, and they will be presented and have to come before this body to make a determination. Now, in many states, for example, Texas and some of these states, the school boards or the entities that actually receive those funds, whereas other governmental bodies do not. But in the state of Louisiana, all of the governmental bodies are subject to these exemptions, which had been granted at the state level.
I think my question is retroactivity. That's so the ones that have been granted are still granted. We can't touch.
Right.
You
No,
cannot
can't
touch
touch.
nothing
Right.
retroactive.
Nothing. Basically, as Ms. Voce said, anything that was already established, we can't go back and recoup them. But we're talking about from
For the future.
for the future, and even to go as far as this board adopting a resolution to not to renew any, based on the fact that, and if you look at it right now, the major businesses are our legislative branch. Congress just gave them a big tax break, so they're gonna do fine. So on a local level, us not granting them a tax break, I don't think it's going to hurt them at all, and it's detrimental to our community. Based on this, on the application, they were supposed to create jobs, and actually we lost 408 jobs based on what the job creation for what the exemption was done for. We actually lost in our parish. So, I'm imploring you and asking you to not to, and there are a few who are coming up for renewal based on, I don't have the exact dates in front of me because unfortunately Mr. Bradley had an emergency. He had all the paperwork because I jumped straight off the bus and came here because I had tutoring this afternoon. So And I apologize for not being fully prepared with the paperwork, but
No, I think you did a great job of it.
You did a great job, Mr. Raleigh.
So-
And for your information, what we'll do, we're gonna get together with Ms. Fauché and the administration and work on something. Okay?
And like Mr. England said, Mr. Warner had brought this up, and we had discussed this extensively at a prior board meeting several months ago. And we are very cognizant of the amount of revenue that could be brought into
Right.
the parish through these, had these exemptions not been granted, so.
and not to throw it in there, but we're behind because Cato Parish and one other parish has already done their due diligence and cut it out. So we don't want to be left behind.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Raleigh. Okay. Move on to item number 5, motion to incorporate the report of the April 10th, 2018 General Committee meeting into the minutes of the April regular monthly meeting. We have a motion by Mr. Long. Second by Mr. Warner. Any questions about this item? If not, please cast your vote.
Everybody, okay, Mr. Smith, and motion passes 10-0.
Okay. Okay, item number 6 is personnel changes. Mr. Granberry, glad to have you here, sir.
Good evening, good evening. We have a few changes for y'all.
Yeah, I see that.
Result of transfer day
Whoa, it's
for next
transfers,
year,
huh?
yeah.
At least the appointments stayed ahead of the resignations, even though it was pretty close.
Any questions from Mr. Granberry? Ms. Daxard.
Not a question, but again, I just want to recognize our retirees. It seems like we're getting more and more retirees, and, you know, your heart kind of drops when you hear another administrator is retiring, or teacher. And, you know, tonight we have Norman Sedlander, special education social worker, Ms. Donna Schultz, and Dr. Montreal Senegar. And I just want to say, and Diane Delarais. And I just want to wish them a happy retirement and to sincerely thank them for all of their years of service. And it's never easy to see the retirees retire. You want them to stay with you forever, but you know, it's going to be a great loss for each and every one of the retirees. And you know, they have so many years that they've contributed and worked so hard for our
At
students.
the bottom of the resignation list is Sandra Vincelet. She has actually had retired and returned to work, but so she can't retire a second time, but she's actually retiring for good this time.
Ms. Vincelet?
Miss Vincelet,
Yep, she's
yeah,
leaving.
at the
Really?
bottom of resignation. She has to be a resignation because she already had retired,
We'll
back
retire
after
return.
Katrina.
Okay.
And
Ms.
she came back
Vincelet
to
will
work,
be
so.
missed greatly also.
Right.
She's taught kindergarten many years, and, you know, again, we wish them all a happy retirement and great losses for our system.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Gaines.
Thank you for
Okay.
bringing that to our attention, Ms. Vincelet.
No, I'm just going to say, we're going to thank them again, Ms. Dysart. Tomorrow night at the Commitment for Community, we'll see all the retirees.
Yes.
And thank them for their service.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines. Anyone else?
Nice big long list tomorrow night. I think
Yeah,
it's
we-
30.
We have 30 retirees.
30
tomorrow
retirees
night
that we're gonna
that
be.
we're gonna, who retired over the course of this year.
It looked like we're gonna be there a while there. Okay, thank you, Mr. Granberry. Okay, move on to item number 7, motion to approve the 2017-2018 revised general fund special revenue and lunch fund budget. This was a recommendation by the committee. Mr. Gaines, second by Ms. Escobedo. Any questions or comments on this item? Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay. Item number 8, motion to approve the administration request to advertise for bids for spices, seasoning, Class 2, cereal, dried beans and crackers, Class 3, frozen foods, Class 5, meat and meat products, Class 6, poultry and eggs, Class 7, seafood products, Class 8, and canned goods, Class 9. This was the recommendation by the committee.
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Dysart,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Lamont. Any questions? We've got Mr. Fernandez if you have any questions. He's here. Okay. If not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay. Item number 9, item to be placed on the agenda for the committee meeting. If not, yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. I don't know if it could be placed in the next agenda, but I was just curious about the Entergy proposal that we haven't, how's that coming along? Is it ready for our action?
I think Ms. Fulcher can answer that right now.
Yeah, right now, it's in the hands of the attorneys. The attorneys for Entergy are speaking with our DA's office, or the attorney representing us, in this potential agreement, and they are working towards seeing if there is a resolution where they feel there can be a legal agreement granting that. So we are waiting now as both sets of attorneys speak with each other. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Boccia.
Okay. That's it, Mr. Gaines? Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Item number 10, superintendent's recommendations.
Just as y'all had mentioned earlier, just a reminder of our banquet tomorrow night, the Celebrating School Community, at which point we will recognize our Teachers of the Year, Students of the Year, Volunteers of the Year, Support Employees of the Year, and obviously our retirees and our Parents of the Year. So it's always a very nice event for our school people, and as Mr. Granberry mentioned, there will be 30 of our employees who have retired since since last May. So we have quite a few in that arena, plus all of our regular recognitions. Just a reminder that we are still in the testing season and will be through the end of May with the online testing as kids do that in grades 5 through high school, and then the paper and pencil for 3rd and 4th grade testing will be that last week in April, first week in May. And just check our website and the school websites. There are many, many, many end-of-the-year activities at our schools, which entail banquets and awards nights and presentations and performances, too numerous to mention, at all of our schools throughout our system. So just please make sure there'll be newsletters, I'm sure, sent home, communication from the schools to our parents, but they will also be posted on the school and district-wide websites.
I'd just like to take a privilege at this time just to thank all board members, for their contribution for the scholarship that's going to be presented to one Chalmette High School student for this year. So every year we've been doing this, and it's been helping out some young student, to go on to further their education. So I really appreciate that, and thank y'all. Okay. All right. And one other thing, the Relay for Life. That was Ms. Banaszak did a fantastic job. I just want to let you know that. Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to echo that too. Shelby Banaszak, she's the one that really spearheaded the effort for our school system. So we really appreciate all the work that she put in, supported by the schools throughout our district.
Right. Okay, now we'll go on to item number 11. Mr. Campbell. Okay, second by Ms. Estevado. All in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.